versus austerity in Camp David. G8 leaders search for a solution to the Eurozone crisis at Barack Obama's Maryland retreat. Mass unrest in Aleppo. Activists report several wounded as troops shoot at protesters in a one-time stronghold of President Assad. And a giant leap for private space travel. The Falcon 9 blasts off today. Its makers aim to be the first company to dock with the International Space Station. Those are the headlines. You're watching France 24, broadcasting live from Paris. Casual dress and a log cabin meeting with the order of the day as US President Barack Obama welcomed G8 leaders to his rural retreat, Camp David. Turmoil in the Eurozone is set to dominate the two-day summit. They'll also discuss the situation in Syria and Afghanistan. Now, some breaking news just coming into us here at France 24. Explosions in front of a high school in Italy, in the town of Brindisi, in the southeast of the country, have hurt 5 students, at least 2 of them seriously. According to local media, their 2 blasts went off in front of the Movio Falcone Vocational School, spreading panic among the pupils, and the devices had apparently been left in bags in front of the building. We will bring you more information on that as it comes into us. 2 explosions have gone off in front of a high school in the town of Brindisi in the southeast of the country. We're hearing 1 female student has been killed and several others injured. Our correspondent Seema Gupta joins me now from Rome. Seema, what more information can you give us about these blasts? Syrian activists have uploaded web videos showing the biggest rallies yet in Aleppo. They reported several injured when regime forces opened fire. Until now, Syria's second city has mainly stayed loyal to President Bashar al-Assad. Our correspondent Lucy Fielder has been monitoring developments from neighbouring Beirut. Lucy, tell us what triggered these mass protests. Now to one of the most eagerly awaited IPOs in the history of Wall Street. It's been a rollercoaster ride for Facebook as it floated on the New York Stock Exchange. The social network has been valued at $104 billion. That's more than Ford and Boeing combined. But after an initial surge, shares fell back almost to their starting price. Mark Edwards reports on whether it was worth all the hype. I'm joined now by Robert Scoble, blogger, tech expert and startup liaison officer at Rackspace. Mr. Scoble, thank you for speaking to us here on France 24. There was so much hype surrounding this flotation. Is it inevitable that the wind would drop out of its sails, or is Facebook simply, in your opinion, not worth this astronomical sum? An earthquake in northern Italy has killed 4 people and injured at least 2 others. The US Geological Survey reported a 5.9 magnitude tremor close to the Earth's surface. It struck 36 kilometres north of Bologna around 4 a.m. local time, sending panicked people running into the streets. The quake lasted 20 seconds and was followed by a number of aftershocks. France 24's Rome correspondent Seema Gupta joins us now. These reports of a 4th person killed in the quake have just been coming into us. Seema, what more do you know? G8 leaders have made it clear they want Greece to stay in the Eurozone. Wrapping up their summit in Camp David, the world's largest economies called on Athens to stick to the terms of its international bailout. But the group had to paper over disagreements on how to deal with the debt crisis dragging the euro down. Germany is insisting on austerity first. France and Italy want the emphasis on growth and jobs, a position backed by US President Barack Obama. Let's get the view from Beijing now with our correspondent Shannon Van Sant. Shannon, what more can you tell us about Chun's departure? Because it happened very quickly in the end, didn't it? So he will probably continue to work as a human rights campaigner from the US. But what does him leaving mean for human rights activists still in China? Is it a positive development for them? Time now for a look at some other world news stories in brief. A rally car has crashed into a crowd in southern France, killing at least 2 people, including a race marshal. Children were among the 15 injured. The vehicle veered off the road at Plan de la Tour in the Var region near the Mediterranean. The driver is in hospital and the second day of the race has been cancelled. The red shirts remember repression. Up to 50,000 protesters have rallied in Bangkok to mark the 2nd anniversary of a crackdown on street protests which killed over 90 people. The red shirts are supporters of ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra. Via video link from exile in Thailand, he called for reconciliation with the royalist yellow shirts. Polls have opened in Serbia's presidential elections. Incumbent Boris Tadic is the favourite to win another 5-year term. He's against rightist Tomislav Nikolic, who's threatened to contest the results amid allegations of fraud in the first rounds. No evidence of forged votes has been found. The victor will lead Serbia into EU membership talks. He will also have to tackle soaring unemployment. Now, it's been the week of a lifetime for Facebook's hoodie-wearing CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, has updated his relationship status. On Saturday, he married his Harvard sweetheart, Priscilla Chan, in a surprise wedding, just a day after the social network made its $104 billion stock market debut. Guests thought they were celebrating Chan's graduation, then found themselves in the middle of a marriage. Full of surprises, that Mark Zuckerberg. That wraps up this news update. Stay tuned to France 24, there's plenty more coming up. Bye-bye.